contact, kind of throw a little mean mug over there, or how does that work?
Not mean mug. I think I'm past that point. I think my first couple of fights, I was like, like giving them the little up and down look. But nowadays, we're just showing up to make some money, so it's no biggie. If anything, I am looking her up and down to be like, oh, legs are pretty big. Okay, she got a little butt. Might throw some hard push kicks. Okay, all right, cool.
I dig it. So talk about stepping into this fight. I mean, were you? We know. I think you're always ready to fight, right? But I mean, were you just? Was it important to you to try to get one more in before the end of the year?
Most definitely. I've shown up to so many fight weeks this year and not been able to fight. So it was really important to me to just be able to test what I've been working on all year, test all those fight camps that rolled over from the first time I tried to fight Tisha, the Ashley Yoder time, the Amanda Hebus time. It's a lot of fight weeks that I was ready for and couldn't do because of COVID. Either I had it or they had it or whatever. So yeah, there's a lot of blue balls there when it came to actually being able to punch someone in the face, and I was really grateful when I got the call to fill in for this one, especially because it was right borderline between short notice and long notice. So I still had plenty of time to get in shape, plenty of time to prepare for this person specifically. So I was super happy about the call.
I was gonna say, like, you probably had about like 4 weeks or so. That's not even short notice for you, right? Like,
I could no, short notice is 10 days for me. Anything after that is a fight camp.
that's all. So I wanted to ask you about this year, right? Because you have had such a weird year. But the thing that we always hear from fighters is that they actually get better when they're not like really in fight camp. And but I guess you have been in fight camp. I don't. So how would you look at this whole year? I mean, has it been a good one in terms of you advancing as a martial artist, or has it just been a shitty one because you haven't had the fights that you like to have?
No, there's been a lot of getting better for me, a lot of learning, and then a lot of executing it in training, executing it in live situations. So the only thing I haven't been able to do is execute it in a fight. And I feel like I showed little wrinkles of just where my wrestling game has become more confident in my last fight. It's just a matter of keeping them down there or getting them to the ground way before the bell rings instead of right before the bell rings. So those are the things that I wish I had done better in my last fight. And in this one, we'll see where it goes. I also don't want to force the ground game, but I feel like I've leveled up a lot in my approach when it comes to striking, and I've leveled up a lot in just like my grappling. I've become a lot more confident. And when I do get in those clinch positions, I don't freak out. I can throw as many knees as I want because I know if I get taken down, I could get back up. I can, go for elbows, go for my own takedowns. I feel a lot more comfortable in those transition stages, and I think that's where a lot of strikers get stuck, is where they don't know how to blend their wrestling and their striking, or their grappling and their striking, and they end up either doing one or the other. And I've done that my entire career. So I feel like I'm finally breaking through that wall and being able to blend better, and it feels really good.
That's awesome. So what do you make of Amanda as an opponent? She's kind of the new flavor, right? She's the hot one that everybody's talking about with these first round finishes and that sort of thing. What do you think about her?
She's super impressive, when you watch tape. But the one thing is that she hasn't fought an elite striker like me, and I've been in there with the best. I've dropped the best. I've hung with the best. So I don't see her posing any threats that I haven't seen before. But she is fast. She is strong. She has a lot of power in her punches. So I definitely respect all that about her. I just feel very confident in how our camp is approaching her as an opponent, and I feel really good about this fight.
On paper, it looks like it could be a lot of fun, right? But that's from a fan perspective. So I wonder, as a fighter, can you go in there? Because a lot of fun means it's probably going back and forth. There's probably, so as a fighter, can you go in there and think like, oh yeah, this is probably going to be wild? Or do you have to go in there with the mindset that like, no, I'm way better. I'm going to dominate it, or it's going to be boring and one-sided?
Well, I mean, if it's one-sided, it's not going to be boring, like I'm putting hands on her. But I do think I'm a little underestimated in this fight. I think a lot of people are excited about the fact that she's on a 4-fight win streak, I think. And when you're coming off of a loss, people forget what you can do. They forget what you've done in the past. And I've fought the best since my second fight in the UFC. So I'm ready for everything she has to bring. And, it is going to be a fun fight because I'm not afraid to get hit. I'm not going to be like freaking out or going for desperate shots that get me caught worse than if I had just like stood in front of her and tried to have a striking match. So it is going to be a fun fight when it comes to that. Like, you're going to see punches and kicks thrown, you're going to see elbows, you're going to see like a lot of action. And I think her style, if anything, is really good for me because I like to pressure. She likes to wait. So it's going to be a battle of whose I guess technique is more resilient, whose technique is going to work better in this match. So we'll see.
Nice. I'm looking forward to it. Last thing for me, big win here. Obviously, it'd be a great way to cap off the year. Are you thinking about next year, like what goals you have? I mean, are you like, I want to get 5 fights in, or hell, you might want more than that? I mean, what's the plan for next year?
Man, I just want to win. I want to get finishes. Like that's my goal. That's been my goal this year, is just working towards getting finishes, working towards getting to positions that will give me a higher chance of getting finishes. And I don't know. I feel like I've just readjusted the way I thought about fighting. Before, I was just thinking volume, volume, volume. Now I'm thinking mix it up a bit. Use everything that I know how to use. Like, I've been training for how long ago did I start this? Since 2014, I had my first fight. So I've been understanding or trying to understand MMA for a long time, and I need to show it. I need to stop walking in as a striker, and I need to start doing everything. And I say it a lot, but I feel like I actually did it my last fight. Even though it didn't go my way, I actually did some of what I wanted to do. So if anything, it just got my confidence up more for the next one.
Angela, who do you think is next in line for for Rose's strawweight title?
Who she just beat? Whaley? Yeah.
Like,
I think Rodriguez. I think that would be fair. I think Rodriguez or Carla Esparza. I think either one of those would be fair. I think maybe Carla deserves it a bit more because she's been streaking a bit longer, and she has a win over Rose already. So I think Carla should get it next. But if I was Rodriguez, I would probably just wait for that call, because like there's a good chance that one of them don't show up. There's a good chance that you can slide in and take that fight. So I don't know. I think one of those two for sure.
I just wanted to get your opinion on the fight last weekend between Amanda and Juliana. I mean, just madness.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm like, I keep forgetting that happened. I'm like, what in the world? That was insane. But I still think that Amanda is the female GOAT of MMA, of women's MMA. Like, I really do. And it looked like she had an off night. I'm not sure, but you can't take credit away from Pena. Like, she went in there and she wrecked shop. And she's always been that person. She's always been that person who, on paper, you're like, nah, they're gonna see a hole in this or that. But like I would love to spar her just to feel what it feels like to get hit by her once, just to be like, oh shit, like this is what happens every time you fight people. Like you underestimate her, and then she comes out swinging, and then you're like, where are the punches coming from? So I think she's a really strong competitor, and she finally was able to show it. And like watching her win like that gave me so much motivation, because all the ups and downs in my career, I'm just like, man, like the underdogs are killing it right now. Like we have so many underdog champions right now. And so that just gives me the most motivation. I think that was the craziest one. And for that to happen right before my fight, it really had me beaming. I'm like, man, this is a great sport. So yeah, that was cool.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Just one from me, Angela. On that point, talking about the other fighters and all that kind of stuff. You're doing a lot of the desk work for ESPN now too, and I know you do some other stuff. How much are you enjoying being like a voice of the sport and someone who influences what the viewers are taking away from these fights and the storylines and all that stuff?
It's cool. I really like it. I think I get more stressed out for that than I do fight week, because I don't want to do a disservice to any of the fighters. I want to tell their story correctly. I don't want to mess things up. I know how butthurt I get when someone talks about me and they say something that I didn't do, or they misunderstand like a combination I was throwing. So I really try to study and understand the fighters and read about their background and everything. And that part stresses me out more than anything. But once the show happens, it really is nice to get good reviews from people, good feedback from people. The fact that people enjoy seeing my presence, seeing a female voice as well on the desk that's a fighter is a bit of a difference. You don't see that often. So yeah, it's cool to be representing the women and just being a nice face to look at.
And to that point about representing the women, I talked to Laura Sanko the other day, and she said she hopes to be in the commentary booth in 2022. What do you think that would mean for the sport to have a female, actually calling the fights?
I think that'd be insane. She's done it a lot on like
LFA.
Fight Pass, LFA, and stuff. So she's definitely qualified to do it, and I think that would be just a great way to get more female fans, a great way to get like a broader spectrum of people watching it, because you're seeing, oh, hey, like this is something that I can access too. This is something that I can enjoy and get really into, and it's not just a guy thing. So I think it will just be great for MMA in the same way bringing women into compete was great for MMA.
Awesome. Well, you're both doing a great job. Thank you.
Thanks.